The loop of echoes. It started with a sound, a low resonant hum that seemed to vibrate through the very fabric of reality. I was in the garage, tinkering with an old radio I'd found at a flea market. The dials were rusted, the casing cracked, but something about it called to me. When I plugged it in, the hum began. At first, I thought it was just interference, but then the air around me seemed to warp, like heat rising off asphalt. The radio crackled, and a voice, my voice, whispered, "Don't do it." I didn't listen. I turned the dial, and the world tore open. A portal, shimmering and unstable, appeared in the corner of the garage. It was beautiful and terrifying, a swirling vortex of light and shadow. I reached out, curiosity overriding caution, and the moment my fingers brushed the surface, I was pulled in. When I regained consciousness, I was standing in my kitchen. The smell of coffee filled the air, and my wife, Sarah, was humming as she flipped pancakes. My daughter, Emily, was at the table, coloring, and my son, Jake, was playing with his toy cars on the floor. Everything was normal. Too normal. Because I remembered this day. It was the day of the accident. At first, I thought I was dreaming. But the details were too sharp, too real. The way Sarah's hair caught the sunlight, the sound of Jake's laughter, the feel of the cool tile beneath my feet. I tried to warn them, to change the course of the day, but every time I did, something stopped me. My words would catch in my throat, or time would skip forward, like a record jumping a track. The accident happened the same way every time. We'd pile into the car for a family outing, and I'd take the same route, make the same turns. The truck would come out of nowhere, slamming into us with a force that shattered glass and metal. I'd wake up in the kitchen again, the smell of coffee in the air, Sarah humming, Emily coloring, Jake playing. Over and over. I tried everything to break the loop. I stayed home, but the car would start on its own, lurching out of the driveway as if possessed. I tried to destroy the radio, but it always reappeared, whole and unbroken, in the garage. I even tried to avoid the portal altogether, but no matter what I did, I always found myself back in the kitchen, reliving the same day. The horror wasn't just in the repetition, it was in the details. Each time, something new, something worse. The way Sarah's blood and brain matter painted the windshield in sickening patterns. The way Emily's eye, ripped from its socket, landed in my mouth as the force of the crash hurled her from the car. The way Jake's shattered bones tore through his skin, hanging grotesquely on impact. The loop wasn't just trapping me, it was taunting me, making sure I absorbed every excruciating second of their suffering. I don't know how long I've been trapped here. Days? Weeks? Years? Time has lost all meaning. The loop has become my reality, my prison. I've stopped trying to change the outcome. Instead, I focus on the moments before the accident, memorizing every detail of my family's faces, their voices, their laughter. It's all I have left. But something is changing. The portal, the one in the garage, it's growing unstable. The hum is louder now, more insistent, and the air around it crackles with energy. I can feel it pulling at me, calling to me. Maybe it's a way out. Or maybe it's something worse. I don't know if I have the strength to face it. But I do know this, I can't keep living this day, over and over, watching my family die. I have to try. So I'm standing here, in the garage, staring at the portal. The radio is silent, the dial's frozen in place. The hum is deafening now, vibrating through my bones. I take a deep breath, step forward, and reach out. The moment my fingers touch the surface, the world tears open again. And I fall. I wake up in the kitchen. The smell of coffee fills the air. Sarah is humming, Emily is coloring, Jake is playing with his toy cars. Everything is normal. But this time, something is different. I am gone. The radio is gone. At least, I think I am. I can see them, Sarah, Emily, Jake, but they can't see me. I call out to them, my voice cracking with desperation, but they don't react. It's as if I'm a ghost, a shadow lingering on the edges of their reality. I reach out to touch Sarah's shoulder, but my hand passes through her like smoke. Panic surges through me. Is this what breaking the loop looks like? Am I trapped in some kind of limbo, forced to watch my family from the outside? The thought is unbearable. I'd rather be stuck in the loop, reliving the same day over and over, than be this invisible specter, powerless to interact with the people I love. I follow them through the day, a silent observer. Sarah packs lunches, Emily argues with Jake over crayons, and I watch, helpless, as the hours tick by. The accident looms on the horizon, inevitable and unchanging. I brace myself for the impact, for the sound of shattering glass and twisted metal. But it doesn't come. Instead, something strange happens. As we approach the intersection where the truck always hits us, Sarah hesitates. She glances at the rearview mirror, her brow furrowed, as if she senses something is wrong. She slows the car, her hands tightening on the wheel. The truck barrels toward us, but this time, it swerves at the last second, missing us by inches. My heart pounds in my chest. This has never happened before. The loop has always been rigid, unyielding. But now, it's as if the fabric of this reality is fraying, unraveling at the edges. We make it home safely. Sarah lets out a shaky breath, her hands trembling as she turns off the engine. Emily and Jake are quiet, sensing the tension in the air. I hover nearby, invisible and unheard, but for the first time, I feel a flicker of hope. Maybe the loop is breaking, maybe I've done something, or undone something that's changed the course of this day. But as the hours pass, I realize something is still wrong. The house feels off. The walls seem to close in, the air growing heavy and oppressive. Sarah keeps glancing over her shoulder, her eyes darting to the corners of the room. Emily's crayons leave strange jagged marks on the paper, and Jake's toy cars move on their own, skittering across the floor in erratic patterns. And then I see it. In the corner of the living room, a faint shimmer in the air. A portal. But it's not like the one in the garage. This one is darker, more menacing, its edges writhing like tendrils of smoke. It pulses with a low, rhythmic thrum, like a heartbeat. I realize with a sinking feeling that this isn't over. The loop may have been broken, but something else has taken its place. Something worse. I move closer to the portal, drawn to it despite the fear clawing at my chest. As I approach, I hear a voice, a whisper, faint but unmistakable. "You can't escape." It's my voice. I turn back to my family, desperate to warn them, but they can't see me. They can't hear me. Sarah is staring at the portal now, her face pale, her eyes wide with terror. Emily and Jake huddle close to her, their small bodies trembling. The portal expands, its darkness swallowing the light. I feel a pull, a force dragging me toward it. I fight against it, but it's no use. I'm drawn into the void, the world around me dissolving into dark. I wake up in the kitchen. The smell of coffee fills the air. Sarah is humming, Emily is coloring, Jake is playing with his toy cars. Everything is normal. But this time, something is different. The radio is back and I'm back. I stare at it, my heart sinking. The dials are rusted, the casing cracked. The hum begins again, low and resonant, vibrating through the air. I know what's coming. I know what I have to do. But this time, I won't make the same mistake. I won't touch the radio. I won't open the portal. I'll stay here, in this moment, with my family. Even if it's just a loop, even if it's not real, it's all I have. I sit down at the table, watching Sarah flip pancakes, listening to Emily's laughter, feeling Jake tug at my sleeve. The accident will come, and the loop will reset, but for now, I'll hold on to this. I'll hold on to them. Because sometimes, the only way to survive the horror is to embrace the loop. And never let go. The day unfolds as it always does. We pile into the car, the sun shining brightly overhead. Sarah is in the driver's seat, her hands steady on the wheel. Emily and Jake are in the back, arguing over who gets to choose the music. I sit in the passenger seat, my heart heavy with the knowledge of what's to come. The truck appears out of nowhere, just as it always does. The impact is sudden, violent, and final. Glass shatters, Sarah's blood and brain matter all over the windshield in sickening patterns. Emily's eye, ripped from its socket and into my mouth. Jake's shattered bones torn through his skin and hanging grotesquely on impact. Metal crumples, and the world goes dark. I wake up in the kitchen. The smell of coffee fills the air. Sarah is humming, Emily is coloring, Jake is playing with his toy cars. Everything is normal. But this time, something is different. The radio is back and I'm back. I realize with a sinking feeling that I'm back in the first loop. The one where I'm stuck reliving the same day, over and over, with no way out. The portal is gone, the radio is back, and I'm trapped in this endless cycle of horror. I try to remember what happened after I entered the portal. Did I escape? Did I break the loop? Or was it all just a dream, a cruel trick of my mind? I don't know. All I know is that I'm back here, in this kitchen, with my family. And the accident is coming. I sit down at the table, watching Sarah flip pancakes, listening to Emily's laughter, feeling Jake tug at my sleeve. The accident will come, and the loop will reset, but for now, I'll hold on to this. I'll hold on to them. Because sometimes, the only way to survive the horror is to embrace the loop. And never let go. I don't know who will hear this. Maybe no one. Maybe this is just another futile attempt to reach out, to break free from this endless cycle of horror. But if there's even the slightest chance that someone is listening, I need you to know this: I am trapped. I am stuck in a loop, reliving the same day over and over, forced to witness the death of my family in a brutal accident that I cannot prevent. I have tried everything, every possible way to change the outcome, to escape this prison of time. But nothing works. The loop resets, and I am back in the kitchen, the smell of coffee in the air, Sarah humming, Emily coloring, Jake playing with his toy cars. And then it happens again. And again. And again. I don't wish this on anyone. This is a hell I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. But if you're out there, if you can hear me, I beg you, help me. Tell me how to escape this loop with my family. Tell me how to save them. I can't do this alone anymore.